Hello everybody and welcome to the video. Today we're going to be going over all of the Drakan warriors. Now as you guys are aware, we had just gotten our awesome little update, little being a lie. It's not little at all. We've gotten this massive event, we're getting tons of scrolls, we got new units, new 2As, I mean there's so much going on. This is going to be a really fun month, but of course the topic of today's video is the new unit that we got, the Drakan warriors, the units that everyone wants, right? And I want them. I want all of them, just cause dragons, right? Dragons with swords. It doesn't get too much cooler than that. I mean, it does. It gets cooler, but I withheld myself from looking at the kits of these units earlier today. I mean, we obviously know what the fire one does because he was in the patch notes or in the notes in general, but I'm curious as to what the other ones do. I'm just hoping that they don't please don't make all of these units supports, please. I mean, it's a shame. Why would you get such a cool unit and make them a support? Damage dealers, please. Make them the next solution. I'm joking. Let's not waste too much time. What we're gonna do is we're gonna rate them, like we're gonna go over their kits, and then I'm gonna rate them based off of their job. Right? So we had just done the Heart Boost 2A video. I mean, it should be up pretty much the same time as this going up. And in that video, I gave certain ratings based off of what I thought they would do. So like Colleen got a really good rating of like an 8 out of 10 or something like that. Because it's like, while she seems like a pretty generic unit, for what she's here for the areas that you're going to bring her in, she does an amazing job. I mean, she's perfect for what she's doing. I mean, I should have given her a higher rating. But the point is that I'm not going to rate Drakan or whatever the same way I'm going to rate Areson. I'm going to rate Drakan based off of his kit, what he's supposed to be doing, and how it's actually working. So what we remember from Drakan is he's going to be like a damage dealer type. Is he a good damage dealer? For the areas that you're going to be bringing him in, is he actually doing a good job, or is he more of a hindrance? These things we're going to figure out as we go through the video. And I will be looking through the monster info after I give my rating, or as I'm giving my rating, because clearly some people are going to have him by now. I'm going to hold off on summoning. I'm going to be summoning on video, on camera, later in the week when I have more and more scrolls. But I'm going to get the opinions of other people. I want to see what they have to say. Some people who have actually tested these units, so I can answer my own questions there in this video. Just know, you'll understand it as we go through the video. Let's not waste any time. Drakan, we're going to go over him really quickly once more, even though we did in the other video, just to be fair. So Drakan, when we saw him in the patch notes, he looked pretty fun. But first off, he does have a leader skill that increases the attack power of monsters in the arena by 44%. This is a really good leader skill. I like it. More likely than anything, though, you're still going to be using speed leads, but attack lead is also nice. Sorry. Nice, decent speed, good amount of attack. Wish his HP was a little bit more. Defense is not bad. Skill 1, continuous slash, attacks the enemy 2 times to decrease the defense for 2 turns with a 35% chance each. I love this skill 1. I don't just like it, I love it, right? With the amount of spotlights we do on this channel, I mean, we run into a lot of units that just have meaningless skill 1s, and for the few units that have a good skill 1 with a skill 1 that matches their kit, sometimes it's still underwhelming in the sense that the debuff durations on a lot of these skill 1s are so minimal. I mean, what's the point of placing an attack speed slow or an attack break if it's just for 1 turn? I mean, that's not really that big of a deal. I mean, it helps, but it would be better if it was like 2 turns. Something that is more meaningful, something that you don't just proc out of. I'm so tired of seeing monsters that have like stuns and all that last 1 turn. A 1-turn stun don't mean nothing. You could violent proc out of that easy. A 2-turn stun, though, is a little bit more annoying to get past. It's a little bit more useful. I don't get what's the point of having a defense break if it's just going to disappear in like 3 seconds. A defense break like this, though, for 2 turns, you can get a whole lot more usage out of. So I appreciate the skill 1, the defense break for 2 turns. And you're attacking 2 times with a 35% chance to land this thing, you're going to probably get it a lot of the time, regardless of your accuracy. Though I would still try to put a little bit on him. Skill 2, Furious Charge. Attacks the enemy 2 times to deal damage that ignores all damage reduction effects. Recovers your HP by 30% of the damage dealt every 3 turns when fully skilled up. So with this skill 2, I like it. It's not the worst skill. I'm not exactly the most proud of it, in the sense that it's pretty basic. And plus, I already know what his passive is, and his passive confuses me a little bit. But just looking at the skill 2 alone, I love it. I mean, you're a damage dealer, and being able to ignore things like shields, and I'm assuming it's like when you look at units like Chandra, I believe it's Chandra, the Water Beast Monk. It's like you have that little escort thing here. This is a damage reduction effect in the sense that it redirects the damage. So I assume that this ignores that. So it's just like if Chandra is trying to protect one of their squishy units or their healer from dying, it's like your job as a damage dealer is to kill the enemy, feint the enemy, whatever it is. And it's like you're going to do that. You're ignoring all these damage reduction effects. You get units like Guilliam, or Guilliam, whatever his name is, the Dark Phantom Thief, who has the invincibility thing if someone lands a glancing hit on him, which he increases the chance of receiving glancing hits. It's just, you get so many of these units that become very annoying to kill, very hard to kill. You get some units like, heck, I can't tell you how many times I've run into units like Alice, or I believe it's this one specifically, Manon, that just make it so hard to kill enemies. And it's just like he ignores that. He's doing his job as a damage dealer thanks to this ignore damage reduction effect. And on top of that, you get the second part of his skill that heals himself based off of that damage dealt. So when you get things like shields and all that, it's just like, how much are you going to really be healing if you're having to push through a shield? So being able to ignore shields, ignore all that, and just get straight raw healing from the skill 2 is really nice. So I like this. Every 3 turns is kind of iffy for me. I wish it was like every 2 turns would be a little annoying though, wouldn't it? Whatever. I like it. It's okay. I say that, but yesterday I was so happy about it. I've had time to think about it. It's like post-nut clarity, you know? Path of the Brave Warrior passive. When you receive HP recovery, increase your attack bar in proportion to the recovered HP instead, and increases the damage dealt to the enemy up to 100% on the next turn. In addition, recovers your HP to the max when you defeat an enemy. Now, there are so many questions with this passive that, depending on how this passive truly works, it either makes him an awful unit or an amazing legendary unit, right? Because when you receive HP recovery, that's such a blanket statement. I'm so confused if it's like, can he heal himself? Can he not be healed by his allies? Because that's a problem. Like if I bring him into arena, even if I build him like semi-tanky, like I would like a Leica or something like that, if I bring him and it's just like I can't heal him at all with any of my units and only he can heal himself, that's kind of scary, right? That's really scary. And as I've said, I wanted to test this with a couple other things. I said this in the other video. How does he react with Veramos? How does he react with Iragar's vampiric effect? How's he reacting to just units in general, like Fra, Lulu, and like Colleen or any of those units? It's like, can he not be healed by his allies? When does this turn off? When, like, do I receive the healing and attack bar increase? Like, these are just questions I have for this passive. So, in the sense that he can't be healed, and every time you attempt to heal him, it's just an attack bar increase, this is awful. It's an awful passive. It's very bad. What it should be is you increase your attack bar in proportion to excess healing. That would be nice. Any extra healing would be turned into attack bar pushing. That would be amazing. But on top of that, I wonder how much attack bar you're receiving. Because if I'm supposed to heal 30% of my HP, if I'm only receiving a 30% of attack bar increase, I'd rather receive the healing. But again, with the blanket statement that you get with the first part, it's like, does a skill 2 apply to this? Does a skill 2 also push his attack bar? Can he even heal himself? It's like, all these are big questions I have. But you know what? Let's say that you were like, hey, I will take the risk. I will take the glass cannon that this Drakan is. How much is that 100%? Like, where does it start? Like, if I'm at 30%, if I'm supposed to heal or whatever, if I deal damage when I'm at 30% HP, is that the 100% increase, or is it at 50%? Is that at 40%? That's what I'm wondering. So where does his HP bar have to be for him to receive 100%? That's what I'm asking. In addition, recovers your HP to the max when you defeat an enemy. So this is what I'm, again, with my whole argument a second ago. Is this the only way to heal him, is by him killing someone? Because if that is the case, that is a fucking problem, right? That is a really big problem, and it immediately just kills any need for me to use him. If I need a ignore damage reduction effect user, I'm going to bring units like Jean or Guillaume, which are Gwilliam, the Phantom Thieves. I will not bring him, because it's just like, if I can't heal him, that's scary. So, monster info. First one, okay, some issues, not enough damage in skill 1, skill 2, so already the damage seems tiny to some people. The proportion of HP recovery to attack bar is criminally tiny, and unless it's built like a tank, it usually dies fast, needs a change. Well, I mean, I know why you're not dealing damage, buddy. You have no damage. It's like, one, this artifact isn't too helpful. This one, it's as less enemies' HP, so you're not going to really deal a whole lot of damage until the enemy's HP gets pretty low. These artifacts, you must have changed him. I wonder if you changed him around, because this is not how he was before you made this review. Because if it is, I can tell you why you're not dealing a whole lot of damage. It's because, one, you built him more speed. You have 100% crit rate on him, but he doesn't even, he has no crit damage. He has no attack. I can see why he's not doing a whole lot. But for him, if I could, the way I want to build him is something similar to this. Maybe either Violent or Rage, just to help him push turns. But most likely Rage. Vampire is very interesting. I wanted to also test him on Vampire. I would like to get him to at least 1500 attack if I were you. 200% crit damage if I were you. But it seems like you're more focused on speed, HP, and defense. It's like you're not, I mean, I suppose it's like you can only do so much in terms of just stats. I mean, you can't build someone who has tons of damage, is super fast, and is also super tanky. I mean, it's just like you're going to have to give up something. So it is what it is. What is your accuracy on him? 23%. It's not a 1-to-1 conversion. Good on paper, but it's very bad in actual game. It's not 1-to-1 conversion. So the HP recovery thingy, like attack bar absorption. Someone said, I'm gonna run him Vamp Will high as I can on all base stats. If you have the runes, you can go for the crit damage though. This is Fire one. Like you're just vamp, like, speak to me. This is more or less, no, because it's like, people are going speed. I feel like he has the attack bar manipulation. Why would you go speed? Just build him like tons of attack, tons of HP and defense. If I ever get him, I'm not building him on speed. I'm gonna see what he's like with just tons of attack, crit rate, crit damage, and HP and defense. Test info. Here we go. First, the skill 3 attack, or the passive gains. Attack bar gain instead of HP seems to be on a 1% max HP to 1% attack bar ratio. So it's 1-to-1. So I would, which I suppose it's fair. So if you want to push him from like half of his attack bar, you need to heal half of his HP. Which I assume that it's like it doesn't matter if he's at full health or not, as long as the healing would be equivalent to half of his HP. So it's not bad. The interesting part is that his full heal on kill is not even coded as a heal. So it ignores heal block and doesn't trigger Gopso's skill 3. Interesting. That's good, I guess. I mean, if you're the user. Skill 2 increases attack bar instead of healing you. Okay. So this doesn't quite answer one of my questions, which is it just not possible to heal him at all? Other than the killing someone? I need to see his skill 3. I need to see his skill 3. So, believe it or not, my rating of him, like when I first saw him, I loved him, but now I'm kind of iffy about him. I'm scared about him. Apparently people are complaining about low damage. His skill 2 doesn't even heal him. It just pushes more of his attack bar. It seems like he's good at attack bar manipulator. Again, I would have to use him. I'm going to give him, for the time being, until I mess with him, I'm giving him a 7 out of 10. I mean, as good as he is as a damage dealer, it's just like, if his damage multiplier is low, it doesn't mean anything to me. I didn't see what anyone had to say about the damage dealt increase portion. I mean, the not being able to heal yourself thing is kind of scary to me. So I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. He functions as a damage dealer, but he's not the best damage dealer. If you need someone who's going to ignore all damage reduction effects, bring Jean. For God's sake. There's so many units that does ignore damage reduction effects. The attack bar manipulation is not enough. Heck, Jean has attack bar manipulation. I mean, him and Jean share so much. I mean, I'm sorry. Where is Jean? You want to ignore all damage reduction effects? Here you go. And he gives himself crit rate. He doesn't heal himself, but guess what? You want attack bar manipulation? If the target's stunned or defeated after an attack, he pushes his attack bar by 50%. I mean, it's just that attack bar manipulation has to be insane. But I'm worried about the not being able to heal yourself part. I would need to see it in action. For now, it's a 7 out of 10. That score might lower or increase depending on if I can put my hands on him and use him a little bit. I can't believe it. We wasted so much time on that guy. Jeez, I'm so sorry. Solvark, defense. So he's not it doesn't seem like he's going to be a damage dealer. Speed, defense is good. HP is good. Arena defense lead by 44%. Skill 1 is the same as the other one. The skill 2 changes though. He attacks all enemies 2 times, dealing damage proportionate to your defense. Deals 30% more damage to targets with harmful effects. Additionally, if you have no harmful effects, absorbs the attack bar by 20% for 3 turns. This skill 2 is not bad. AoE, multi-hit. You can deal a decent amount of damage. I mean, I wonder if you would build him on damage. I would need to see what his skill 3 does to determine that. But if you did build him on damage, that 30% increase is going to be pretty nice. But I think the biggest part is the absorption. And one thing to note, to pay attention to the wording, it's if you have no harmful effects. So I would assume that you would want to build him like really, really fast. Have him go fast enough to outspeed the enemy. But what worries me about the skill 2 is there's no stripping. So you would have to have like a unit like come in and strip before him, because the problem with this is if you outspeed the enemies, it's just like if they have will or shield or whatever, or if they have will at all. I think will is the biggest part. If they have will runes, it's just like this skill 2 doesn't really mean anything. You're just bringing it for the damage, which I don't know how high the damage multiplier is, but if it's anything like the first one, the fire one, Drakan or whatever, I assume the damage multiplier is not high at all. I mean, I'm assuming you're bringing him for the effects. So, you would need him to outspeed the enemy. But if the enemy has will runes, so yeah, you would need to bring a unit like Clara, the Fire Pierrette, who can strip and then stun. So you could benefit off of Clara, actually. I think those two are a good combo. Clara comes in, strips everyone, and then stuns them. And then he will deal increased damage and then also absorbs their attack bar. And thankfully, since this is a multi-hit, you could absorb up to 40%. So he'd get another turn immediately. And with that combination already, I mean, who knows what else you could do. So skill 3, Dragon Strike, goes under the threat state while the enemies attack with a single target skill 3 times. Attacks all enemies to deal damage that's proportionate to your defense, granting the silence and glancing hit increasing effect for 2 turns each, every 4 turns. I like this, actually. So he's going to absorb attack bar, which, assuming that you could pull it off, the whole Clara and him thing, and you strip and you stun and you do all that stuff, you can get off a decent little bit of damage, absorb the attack bar. He's probably going to gain another turn, because you're talking about 40% each potentially from every unit. And if you move first, everyone's going to be near full attack bar. So he can go again, and then he could pop this off, put himself under the threat state. I don't know if I would put him on damage then. I don't think you would go damage. You would build him on... You could build him on Despair, because he has an AoE multi-hit here, and then he has an AoE here. I would go Despair. Despair Will or Despair Focus. Lands a skill 3. He's under the threat state, so they'll attack him. And they'll have to attack him with skill 1s because he's silenced them. And then that skill 1 is not going to really do all that much damage. So, really nice. Really good tank unit. Definitely a support unit. I didn't want them to be supports, but hey, you know what? If you're going to be a support, be a good one, right? So, interesting. Let's try not to sit here for too long. Not a bad character by any means. I feel like this is the best of the main 3 with first impressions. Recommended on Vile Runes, Revenge, Will, or Nemesis offset if possible. Make him tanky, just a little slower than your stripper. Yeah, exactly. And give him some accuracy. Damage is a bonus. He's meant to disrupt. Absolutely. Playing around with the damage build. Decent bruiser. Well, he's not going to deal a lot of... Okay, dude, buddy? Seriously? Is this a 5-star? Okay. Very cool monster. Mine is the best. Change my mind. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he doesn't seem all that bad. We're not going to get statistics. Can we get statistics? Yeah, no, not enough. Yeah, I think Despair Will, or, yeah, I guess Violent works. I mean, Violent works on everybody, though. So, Despair Will, in my opinion, or Despair Focus, if you need the accuracy. Speed, tons of HP and defense. Go off with that skill 2 and then combo into the skill 3. Him and Clara will be perfect with each other. Why did I do that? Before actually we go on, let me rate him. Solvark, I'm going to give him actually a solid 8. I mean, he's a good disrupt. I think the other guy, his comment, where is he? He's meant to disrupt. Finwick, your comment is exactly what I'm thinking. Correct. As a disrupt unit, he's pretty decent. He's pretty good. Is he the craziest? No, but I can imagine using him. I mean, if I get him, I will use him. I'll build Clara and then use him, and then this is going to be a pretty good combination. And the other 2 units that I bring, I could defense break. I could, and then come in with a cleave or whatever. Maybe that, or just bring a bunch of tanky monsters. Do something. I don't know. But, really good at his job. I like him. So 8 out of 10 for him. Areson. So Areson has the arena HP lead by 44%. Again, I'm assuming he's another support unit. Defense break, same skill 2 as the water one. So he has the potential to also do the whole thing with Clara. But instead of having the same skill 3, he has a different skill 3 where he attacks all enemies that deals damage that's proportionate to your defense and removes all beneficial effects. In addition, decreases the HP of the enemies with the beneficial effects removed by 15%. Okay. So never mind. Don't do the thing with Clara, because what's the point of having 2 AoE strippers? In addition, decrease. So it's like skill 3 AoE strip. Who cares? I care. It's actually really good. But the point I was about to get into is let's focus on the last part. In addition, decreases the HP of the enemies with beneficial effects removed by 15%, 10% if it's a boss. And this is just 15% flat. So whether I'm removing 1 harmful or beneficial effect, or if I'm removing 10 somehow, if they have 10, it's always going to be 15%. It's a meh. This is a really plain skill 3 strip and then decrease 15% HP. It doesn't really mean anything. And here's the thing. It's a useless skill 3 if the enemy doesn't have beneficial effects. And it's just like, it's all reliant off of them having beneficial effects. So he's an opener, I suppose. He opens in a fight. You would build him on Violent, Will, Speed, Tanky, Accuracy. Pretty basic. Excellent most, is he now, Zeus? Oh yeah, most excellent. Maybe a damage buff or rework skill 3 to make him good. Yeah, he's just... this guy is like Waldo. He could get lost in a crowd. Dear Diary got him on day 1, blah, blah, blah. Needs a ton of defense, but also HP and accuracy. Semi-stat hungry. Fire 1 seems better. Semi-stat hungry? In what way? In what way is he semi-stat hungry? What are you trying to give him? I guess he's stat hungry for... I mean, never mind. I can see why. Double guard shield. I mean, cool, his stats look good, but it's whatever. Semi-stat hungry. He doesn't need that much defense. He says he thinks he's summoned the worst one. I think the fire one might be the worst one. I'm scared of the fire one. You've got crit damage somewhere on this. Don't talk about how ass he is, man. Go fucking farm. I'm joking. Very plain. So far, out of all the main attribute ones, this one seems like he's the worst. This one seems like the best. This one is just plain. It's like a too hot, too cold, just right type thing. So too cold, all too cold, good. LDs, please let the LDs be good. So glad that they make LDs for units and then just make the LDs terribly average. Like, if it's going to be a rare character, make it good. But Fridrion, by the way, this guy, he's a 5 out of 10. I'm giving him such a low rating because he's meh. You'd have a better time using this guy over him. Skill 2, it's like if you're bringing them for the skill 2, bring the water one. Skill 3 don't mean shit because you're going to be bringing them with Clara for the skill 2, in my opinion. It's just meh. 5 out of 10. Fridrion, Refrigerator, resistance lead by 55%, which I like. Good defense, good HP, decent speed. Skill 1 defense break. Same skill 2 as the other ones. Great. Love it. But again, you could probably do the thing with Clara. Seems like another support. Why not? I mean, just bring us the coolest characters, have them with 2 swords, dragons with 2 swords, and then just make them supports. It makes sense to me. Dragon skills passive. Any harmful effects that was once applied to you cannot be reapplied in the same battle. Okay. Additionally, if you're inflicted again with the same harmful effect, excluding inability effects, it is reflected back to the caster. Okay, Refrigerator. Okay, Frieza. I like this. Frederick, I like you. I'm just going to give him a different name each time. So this is interesting. 1, skill 2 should have had a provoke. If you're going to have a passive like this, skill 2 should have had a provoke. Or a threat state type deal. But, so, obviously this is going to mean defense breaks, glancings, all that just reflected back to the caster. That's great. I love it. Absolutely love it. On top of that, I have one question. So the second part talks about excluding inability effects. Is this with the entirety of the passive, or is it just with that one part? So, like, if I am facing up against, god dang it, Refrigerator. If I'm facing off against Refrigerator and I stun him, skill 1, or turn 1, and then next turn I try to stun him again, will I fail to stun him, or will I stun him again? And if I do fail to stun him, it just means that he can't apply that back to me. So I'm not going to be able to stun myself. Okay. I don't have a name for you. Okay. That's interesting. I really don't have a name for you. I don't know why I'm trying to focus on giving you names. Just already off of the passive alone, I like it. I think you could be very, very interesting. Dude, Dots is going to be such nonsense. It's going to be great. Especially with some of these defenses out here. Yeah, I'm going to give you believe it or not, I'm going to give you an 8 out of 10. I'm going to give you a 7.5 out of 10. I think you would have been far better. If you could have had a provoke, I think your score would have went way up. Provoke skill 2 with this passive? Oh my gosh. But that doesn't mean you can't bring other units that place threat on you. But 7.5. I think skill 2 is pretty decent. I mean, you could enter with Clara. Use a skill 2. But it's just like, I don't know. I feel like it's just, you know what? I'm giving you an 8 out of 10. Your passive is really, really good. I just wish you had a provoke. Drakkar. Finally, god dang it, finally an attack unit. Oh my gosh. I thought we were going to have nothing but supports. So Drakan, good attack, good HP, good speed. Arena crit rate lead, which, whatever. Skill 1 is the same, and skill 2 is the same as the fire one. The only difference is the skill 3, in which he... Wow, okay. That's a book. Duel of Honor removes all beneficial effects and harmful effects from both the enemy and yourself with an irresistible effect. So this can't be resisted. You just strip and cleanse everybody. And then initiates a 1v1 duel? What the fuck? During the duel, all passives will not be activated. The duel begins with your attack, and both sides exchange skill 1 attacks 3 times. Holy moly, this is so cool. After the duel, if a monster is defeated, the side of the surviving monster wins. All monsters on the winning side will have their attack bar increased by 50%, while all monsters on the losing side will have their attack bar decreased by 50%. Oh, wow. Wowie, wowie, wow. I like this a lot. Oh my god. This is so cool. This is so awesome. Like, dude, I want to mess with this so bad. This is so cool. Easily the best one. I like this one so much. Holy crap, what are people saying? It's time to duel. Earliest freak with this one. Yu-Gi-Oh, baby. He's absolutely brutal, and his skill 1 1v1, it's so funny. 4th LD, 1v1 me loser. Oh my gosh. I'm freaking out, dude. I'm freaking out. This is awesome. Let's hurry up. Skill 3, that sounds awesome. I mean, it's beneficial in many ways. You could be in a losing battle and come back with this skill 3. This is a comeback type of skill 3. Imagine like all your units are stunned and all that, and your car has to somehow make a difference. Skill 3, baby. Fucking 1v1 me, bro. 1v1 me, bro. And then he turns things around. It's like, it could be a bad thing. You could lose the 1v1. You could lose the 1v1. But if you win the 1v1, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? 10 out of 10, baby. I don't even care. We're not rating them no more. 10 out of 10, baby. I love it. For real though, the skill 1 and 2 are really nice. You're gonna definitely build them on damage. If I'm gonna build him, on like attack, crit damage, attack, and give him like a bunch of tanky substats to help him survive. But I'm gonna try to give him as much attack and crit damage as possible. I know I'm never gonna get him, but if I get my hands on him, oh boy, bruh, just duel me, motherfucker, duel me. It's gonna be so fun. It could be a hindrance on you, but it could also allow you to win. We're gonna hurry up and cut this short. This video is already long as absolute dookie. My throat's dry. I'm parched. You guys tell me what you think. Who is the worst unit out of all these new monsters? Who is the best one? You guys tell me in the comments. I'm gonna tell you off the rip, I think the fire one is the worst one already. Gosh, man, why does that healing bullshit have to happen? And the best one is definitely Drakan. I love this. Drakan! Come to me, baby. I need you. See you guys in the next one. Peace.